Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Okay guys, I'm going to be seeing a video today. This is titled I walked through Moscow at midnight. All right, I did a reaction, but that reaction was particularly about Kazan. Okay, so I'm really excited checking out this one from Moscow. All right, there's a lot of propaganda about Russia out there. Okay, people are always saying that Russia is violent, Russia is harmful, Russia is not safe, it's not safe for tourists, and all of that. Lots of propaganda videos out there, and people are really confused. All right, don't even know what to believe anymore. Okay, so this one is about Moscow, and I'm really excited to see an Englishman in Moscow and how it is for him in Moscow. Okay, so if you're interested to see this with me, please subscribe. And if you find this video interesting, like, share, and comment on it. Okay, so this video is from Moscow on Court. All right, so I think he lives in Moscow, and we're about to see his video now. So let's jump in.
Welcome to Moscow. It's Saturday night and the clock is about to tick midnight. Just a few hours ago, these streets were full of people, families out enjoying a relaxing walk. But now the energy's changed, the vibe has changed, and we're going to take a little walk and see what Moscow looks like once the sun goes down and the nightlife takes over. Let's go. We're starting in one of the most elite areas of Moscow, Patriarch Pawns, or Patriarchy as it's known, where we're going to see, I'm sure, lots of fancy cars, lots of fancy restaurants, the elite of Moscow, as well as the wannabes as well. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what that looks like, and then we'll go and check out some other areas that are maybe not quite so fancy. So here we are on Malaya Bronnaya Street.
Malaya Bronnaya Street.
Fanciest street that I can think of in Moscow. Certainly in terms of the nightlife, it's the place to be seen. So we see lots of bars. The cars are out as well. This is where they come and show off their cars. I'm not really sure why, because they seem to just be stuck in a traffic jam, moving at snail's pace, but I'm sure they're being seen by all the right people. One of the interesting things for me as a foreigner, someone from the UK, is there's very little police presence here for kind of the main nightlife centre, or one of the main nightlife centres. In the UK, in a big city like this, I think you would usually see some sort of police van or something like that here, but there's none here. It's not to say that they aren't out patrolling things. The question of whether it's safe or not, I certainly feel very safe. I'm sure when alcohol's involved, there's always going to be altercations, scuffles, disagreements, that kind of thing. So it's not to say that there's never any incidents. It's certainly not very common, certainly here in the centre of Moscow. Not sure about the rest of Russia, but here it's very safe. We've got these fancy restaurants, Patriarchy, and then this is looking back down where I've just come from. Viva la Vika and Davidov. Привет. I think this is also one of the places as well where there's lots of people out doing photography and social media photo shoots and all that sort of stuff. So lots of people, as I'm going past, are sort of looking, nodding, waving. I feel a bit kind of weird, but it's got to be done if we want to share the content with you guys. As we go, I thought it'd be cool to have a think about some of the similarities and some of the differences between nightlife in Moscow and the UK. We'll have a chat about things like the cost, the sort of cultural things as well. I think are very interesting because there's a few differences. One of which is the timing that people actually go out and do stuff. Here, it's a lot later. In the UK, well, certainly in Scotland I remember, you know, the pubs finish at 1 o'clock and then maybe the clubs finish at 3 o'clock. And then everyone's kind of chucked out and you have to go home or go to an after party at somebody's house. Whereas here people are really just getting started about now. Yo. So they'll come, you know, they might come out for dinner at like 9 or 10, do that for a few hours and then go out to a bar or club afterwards, and then they can go till like 6 in the morning. I've even known people to be out at like 9 o'clock in the morning and the places are still open, which to me is absolutely insane, but you know, fair play to them if that's what they want to do. I don't think Sunday would be much fun, but to each their own, eh? So we're almost at the end of this fancy street, Malaya Bronnaya Ulica, and we're kind of going to go down a rung in terms of exclusivity as we go to the next street. So interested to know your thoughts on what we saw there, how the other half live. Lots of people out flexing their wealth there. Fancy cars, nice restaurants. It's not my cup of tea, to be 100% honest with you. I prefer something a bit more relaxed, but if you want to see and be seen, then that's the place to go if you come to Moscow. I've got to say, I would hate to live here because of those absolute muppets.
Hello, Russia.
Oh, how are you?
Good night.
Good night to you.
Обоюдно.
Правильно. Somebody's going to have to translate that for me in the comments. I'm not familiar with that word. Got a funny feeling it might not be super complimentary, but I'll add it to my vocabulary if you can tell me what it means. In terms of pricing for places back there on the fancy area, could be anything really, but you're probably looking at kind of London prices, I would say. There's definitely places you can have a cheap night out in Moscow. That's not one of them, 100%. Don't go there if you're on a budget. We're now on the Boulevard ring, heading down to our next kind of nightlife hotspot. I've got a funny feeling those two lads who were behind me in the last shot were doing something they shouldn't have been doing, because they were absolutely delighted with themselves when I stopped recording. So I'll be interested to see what it is when I go back and check the footage. But here we are, quite a busy spot, and we're going to find the right place to go next. So let's see if we can get across here without getting any traffic violations. It's a very busy intersection where I have been in one of my previous videos where I did a big walk around pretty much the whole boulevard ring. I'm just trying to find the right street, which I was actually on last week.
So far, so good. This is amazing coming from Moscow. Okay, we've heard a lot about Moscow. Some people say Moscow is not safe. Some people say people in Moscow are rude. People in Moscow are gritty and all of that. But from this video, you can actually see that the nightlife is actually peaceful and everyone is just minding their business. They don't even care who you are. Okay, so this is really interesting.
Weekend for a date with the Mrs. Moscow and Cup. But we came from another side. Where am I going? Give me a second while I get my bearings. So down that way where the greenery is following the boulevard ring around. I think we're going to go up and down that street. We've got some great music going on here as well. I'm always very complimentary of the buskers in Moscow. This girl's very good, in my humble opinion.
Ночью и днем, сердце сжигая, люби меня, люби.
Amazing voice.
I would have put that girl's details on the screen for card transfers, but she doesn't seem to have any. Anyway, onwards. You can see people still dining in the restaurant. In the UK, they'd already be on the Jaeger bombs by this point, past midnight, but here, a little bit more civilized. I just want to put in a quick public service announcement while I'm here, which is Yes, I know that not all of Russia looks like this. I've been all around Russia. I've been sampled the nightlife in places like Ryazan, Tula, Krasnodar, Yaroslavl, Kazan, Nizhny Novgorod, Stavropol. Did I say Stavropol? Where else have I been? Mineralny Vody. Lots of places. So I'm well aware that it doesn't all look like this. But in those places there's still plenty of nice nightlife, let me say. Lots of fun to be had. Okay, this is going to be a busy little spot. This is where I was with the wife last week. Lots of restaurants around here. This is kind of, how can I say it? I think this sort of caters to a bit more of a slightly older crowd. Like these people are probably yuppies, is that the right word? They're, you know, it's not like college kids. These are people that have got actual jobs and just going out and enjoying themselves after a long week of work. Again, as I say in pretty much every video, like, doesn't feel to me like the Russian economy is on its last legs. So we see like these restaurants, you wouldn't get a table in here if you just phoned up today at like 7 o'clock trying to get our table. You would be SOL. That's a rude way of saying you'd be out of luck. And you can see all the fancy cars going past. I know that's not a good judge of an economy, but it's certainly interesting.
Okay, just hold on guys, just an observation. Throughout this video, like, I am hoping I'll see 1 or 2 beers by now, because we've really heard a lot about Russia and beers and all of that. So where is the beers everyone is talking about? Okay, and another thing is, this is a nightlife show. He's showing us what nightlife actually looks in Moscow, and I'm expecting to like see lots of drunkards around, roaming around the street and all of that, but I cannot see any drunkard in this video, and that's really, really cool compared to what we hear about drunkards in Russia and Moscow. This is really interesting, and it is our job as YouTube bloggers to put this kind of video out there, because there are lots of propagandas out there, and it will only be good for me as a YouTube blogger to put such detail out there, so a lot of people can actually know and understand that the Russia they know is not what they actually saw on the internet about Russia. Like this, Russia is actually different. Their people are cool, everyone is just nice. Okay, so this is really incredible. All right,
More restaurants, more fancy cars as well.
How about beautiful?
everyone is just minding their business. This is really nice.
So around about this time, I guess people might start to be exiting the restaurants and maybe heading to more of the bars. The bars are kind of, the bars are much more bars, let's just say that, compared to the UK where you get more pubs. Like here, pubs are not really such a big thing. It's all about the bar scene and then the nightclubs, which go on all night basically. Lots of people are using taxis here as well, which is one really good thing about here over the UK is you can take a few taxis during the course of a night out without completely sinking your whole budget. It is more expensive at this time of night on a Saturday than kind of average, but you still may be paying £10 or, you know, $13, $14 for a, I don't know, 10-minute taxi drive, versus in the UK I think you'd be paying a lot more than that. I've just snipped down this side street because we're going to cross over onto Tverskaya, one of the big main boulevards, and then onto another street where hopefully we'll see some more nightlife and pick up the vibe in Moscow. So we're getting towards 1 o'clock now. Here we are at Nikolskaya. Got a lovely view down to, I think that's the State History Museum if my eyes don't deceive me, and the Kremlin down there as well. This is Kamagersky Lane, it looks like. They've been doing something, some sort of event or something that they're just packing up. Now this road is more restaurants, so I'm not sure. Doesn't actually look buzzing in the slightest. Let's check it out. Even if there's not many people here, oh, here's a few more people. It's very pretty with these lights dangling down. They do put a lot of effort into making the city look nice, and then we've also got, I'm not sure if these flowers and trees are also here. Oh, some horses. Suddenly it's all gold. That's very cool setup there. I've got these restaurants, definitely look like they've mostly packed up for the evening. Yeah, Basta, Frank by Basta still full. That's the barbecue place from one of the big rappers. He did a show, a big sellout stadium show at Luzhniki Stadium near me a few weeks ago. Caused all sorts of traffic problems. Very inconsiderate. Looks like we've got some dancing and singing down here. One thing I've noticed tonight is a lot of men who look like they're from the Caucasus region out and about. It's quite interesting. I see a lot of people thinking that Russia has not got any. What's up, big man? Not got any. That's a high five, first high five of the night. Like there's not much diversity. There's a lot of diversity. Oh, look at this guy. Lots of buskers on this street. I don't know if you hear me. One thing in Russia, they have these girls that come and... Hi. We're on YouTube. YouTube. That's okay. Well, yeah, these girls come up and ask you for money, even if you're not like looking at the busker or you've got your head down, they'll come up and ask. What do you think about that? To me, it's a bit dodgy. If I want to give money, I'll give money.
8 courses.
How much it costs for all of those? Ketchup bar. Very loud music. But good fun if that's your vibe. So we're at Kuznetsky Most. Up there is the Tsum department store. We're just going to take a quick detour around this corner to take a look at the Bolshoi Theater? Bolshoi Theater, and see what that looks like at night. Let's check it out. So far I haven't been mugged, I haven't seen any violence, I haven't seen any aggression. So that's good. But then I don't really think, would you see that all the time in the UK or America? Oh, a girl just crashed her bike. She's okay. Is it that bad? I don't know. Maybe I'm wildly out of touch. Interestingly, tonight I've seen or experienced what I'd call some quite exuberant behaviour. A few people come up to me like quite leery, trying to get on camera. I don't think that would happen if I wasn't walking around at 1 o'clock in the morning with a camera speaking English. I think that's why I've never experienced that before, because I've never done this before. Oh yeah, it's been an interesting comparison. There we go, the Bolshoi Theater in all its glory. We're going to head back up there, past the soup. Right, here we are after that quick detour, back at Kuznetsky Most. And while we're here, you can do me a favour. If you're enjoying the video, please hit like. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. And please leave a comment. I'd love to know what you thought of what you've seen. How is the nightlife and the streets at night here different to your town or city? What have you noticed? What surprised you? Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue. Alright, we've got all sorts going on here. Some sort of musical entertainment here. Absolute tune, by the way. This is a street I've shown in a previous video, but during the daytime, very different vibe here just now. And again, they've got these amazing trees, shrubbery, hedges, all set up, very cool. Let's check out what they've got set up here. A cool little cubby to chill out in. Of course, one of the many Irish pubs, but this street is definitely quite quiet. It's so interesting to me how in pretty much every city you have maybe different bars or even different areas that are in vogue for a certain period of time, and you know, everyone's there and they're buzzing, and then they just kind of go out of favour, and suddenly it's dead. This place feels a little bit like that. I don't know if it's because it's more geared towards earlier in the evening, but I would have expected this street to be much busier than it actually is. But yeah, it's pretty dead in all honesty. This huge rocket is all part of this Leto Moskva, somewhere in Moscow, sort of festival they've got going on. We've got a slide from up there coming down into this ball pit. Just around the corner we've got another busy street. It's amazing what the lights can do, I think, for you. Right, this place is a little bit busier, but it's just looking at the establishments. You've got the Alyonka chocolate shop, got a metro station there, Kuznetsky Most, unless I'm much mistaken. And it's not really bars, you know, they've got a, that's the coffee shop, isn't it? Where you get your photocopies done. So although this street's right in the centre, it's not super nightlife heavy, although we've got, oh, Frank by Bastard, that guy must be absolutely coining it. We've got more music down here, more cuddies. So for you guys. Where's the guy singing? That's what I can't find out. There he is. Yeah, it's a fun street, but if I was on a night out and I came to that street, I'd be saying maybe we should check somewhere else out that's a bit livelier. Right, down that way is the Bolshoi Theater, about 150 metres. We're going to head over that way, underneath this underpass, to check out Nikolskaya Street, see what's happening there. Right, here we are on Nikolskaya Street. It's quite noisy. Another interesting thing that I've noticed culturally that's different is the amount of alcohol that people drink. Which is funny because usually there's this stereotype about Russians drinking a lot. But actually, I'm pretty sure that on a night out, the Brits far outdrink them. Don't know why that is, but we do. Like tonight, I've not seen anyone, you know, legless, absolutely out their tree. Whereas I think I probably would have in the UK. I definitely see people stumbling around. On the other side, though, I definitely, when I'm going about my daily life, like on the metro or on the lift in my building, I smell a lot of, you know, that alcoholic smell. By alcoholic, I mean an alcoholic person. You can really smell the drink off them. I smell that quite a lot on the metro and on lifts compared to the UK. So I don't know what's going on there. That is the Krug Sveta food market, which turns into bit of a nightlife venue. As you can see, it spills out onto the streets. There's a lot of, I say a lot, there's quite a few people I think are visitors from India, Arab countries, Africa's down here, popular spot for tourists to come. No idea if you can hear me in the slightest. Okay, I think that's probably most that we'll see here. There's about 15 different songs sort of competing for supremacy, so I don't even know if you can hear me. Well, I'm having fun on our walk, but I've got to say, I'm glad that I'm a happily married man and I'm not out till all hours of the morning listening to loud music, drinking loads of alcohol. I think I'm much happier at home with my wife, my dog, and my 2 cats. I think I'm too old for this, but anyway, let's check out one more place. Come on, let's get a second wind. Maybe I'll even get a pint of beer at the end. Let's see. We've got a singer about to drop some magic. That's a popular one. Well, very popular music there, but we're going underground. Here, this is the Metro Lubyanka. Right, I'm a little bit lost in the centre of Moscow, which is unusual, but it's because they jammed the signal, or somebody jammed the signal for the GPS. So it's saying I'm about 300 or 400 meters from where I actually am, so I'm just trying to figure out where to get out of this maze underground. Right, let's check out the map. We're here. Right, we're gambling on this one. Not sure if it's the right gamble. Let's see. I just came out of the underpass there, holding the camera, filming. Turns out I was right at the old KGB building. There was 4 big policemen there right when I came out, so I quickly stopped filming. Don't think anything would happen, but it's probably not the smartest idea to be walking around there with a camera as a foreigner. Anyway, onwards. We're still very central here, but it's much quieter on this street, that's for sure. As we make our way to the final destination, one other sort of cultural difference I've noticed is that people here seem less likely to do what we call pre-drinks in the UK, where everyone will buy some drinks from the supermarket and then go round to somebody's house or somebody's flat and drink them there before going to the bar, where you maybe only have 1 or 2 drinks. That's usually to save money. Doesn't seem to be such a big thing here, not sure why. Maybe it's because of the size of Moscow, the distance of actually getting to your friend's apartment. Not sure, let me know what you think in the comments why that might be. Okay, we're here on Trubnaya Square, and to be honest, it looks pretty dead. It's not somewhere I can remember being for nightlife. Not that much of a nightlife guy these days, but I remember there was a sort of bar club place called Valanok, which was quite popular. Maybe it still is, I don't know. But it doesn't seem like there's lots going on here, but let's just take a look. Is there a place I can get a beer after all this walking? That would be the main. If we get that, I'll take it as a win, but it looks like people are... Hi. Deutschland. It looks like people are packing up here. Let's see. Maybe I'm not going to the right places, I'm not sure. But I'm not seeing much here. looks like there's some sort of bar down here. That, by the way, is another interesting difference culturally, is that this doesn't really seem to be a closing time. You know, in the UK, like there'll be a bell. It's last orders. The bell will go off and you've got to get your last orders in. And then they'll say get out, and then they'll give you another few minutes. And then you really have to get out. And everybody spills onto the street at the same time and has to decide what to do next, basically. Whereas here, everyone's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Staggered. Like each place seems to have its own closing time, and it means people don't really all sprawl out onto the streets at once, which probably stops a lot of problems that we have in the UK, when everyone comes out at the same time, gets into fights, arguments and all that sort of stuff in the fish and chip shop. You can maybe see behind me, there's still people sitting at the restaurant. They were just getting their bill. It must be about coming on for 2 a.m. and there's people still out eating, so it's definitely got that kind of continental approach compared to the UK, where I don't think there's many people still going for dinner at that time, apart from a chippy or a kebab afterwards.
Добрый вечер.
Добрый вечер, как дела? We're back at Tverskaya, and I've kind of given up hope of finding my old man's pub for a cold beer. So instead I'm going to go to the first McDonald's in Russia on Tverskaya. Of course, it's not McDonald's anymore, it's the Vkusny Tochka, and I'll have a Big Mac, or a Big Heat as they call it, and a cold drink and rest up, because I'm fair puddled, as we say in Scotland. I'm very tired, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, please comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Paka paka.
Wow, this is actually a very interesting video about Moscow, okay? Because I was actually curious from the beginning, like, what is Moscow like? What is Moscow like at night? I know I've already checked video about that of Kazan, and I was clear there that Kazan is actually safe, quiet, and peaceful. All right. So from this video, Moscow is actually beautiful. Moscow is peaceful at night. Their nightlife is actually quite interesting and peaceful. Okay, I love the fact that they can actually have beer in open space, unlike the US. Like, you can't even try that in the US, taking a beer in an open space. It's not possible. All right. And I am trying to still connect the dots about USA. All right. Why is it allowed for you to own a gun, but it's not allowed for you to drink a common beer in an open space? Think about that. Okay. Well, in Russia, it's not like that. It's actually the opposite of what the USA is. All right. So I really had an amazing time checking out this video. Okay. So if you're out there and you've seen lots of propaganda videos about Russia and you're scared, like, okay, what am I going to believe? Is Russia safe? Is Moscow safe? I'm here telling you as a blogger that Russia is actually safe. Moscow is safe. Kazan is safe. I'm still going to check out more videos about other places in Russia to like see how safe it is. Okay, but for the meantime, Moscow is safe. All right, Kazan is safe. All right, so thank you guys for watching. If you have more suggestions about other videos and places you want me to check out, you can as well drop your suggestions in the comment section. All right, thank you for watching, and see you guys in my next one. Bye.